April 27th, 2011. The southeastern United States was struck by one of the most deadly tornado outbreaks in history. More than 350 tornadoes touched down in just 24 hours. It was a day that forever changed the lives of many. The groundwork for the outbreak was laid on April 25th. A massive storm system began taking shape. By the morning of April 27th, the ingredients for disaster were in place. Unstable air, warm moisture, and a powerful cold front. Forecasters knew this could be bad, but no one anticipated just how deadly it would be. For the NWS, they have seen enough. They had enough evidence to issue a high risk for parts of Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. Also, with a tornado risk of 45%, storm chasers knew that this day would make history. By 11 a.m., tornado watches were issued for parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. The stage was set for the first tornadoes to touch down. The supercell storm system was about to intensify, and a deadly afternoon was about to unfold. By noon, the first tornadoes touched down in Mississippi. These were very strong storms, but the most dangerous one had yet to come. The first tornado set the stage for what would soon become an unprecedented outbreak. At 1 p.m., the first major tornado hit Alabama, and by 2 p.m., Tuscaloosa was struck by an E of 4 tornado reaching winds up to 190 miles an hour. Entire neighborhoods were destroyed. It was a staggering blow to the city, but the storm's march wasn't over. In Hackleburg, Alabama, a tornado carved a path of destruction nearly a mile wide. Entire neighborhoods were leveled. Homes, businesses, and schools were wiped off the map. The heart of this small community was shattered, but the spirit of its people remained unbroken. Just across the state line, in Smithville, Mississippi, the tornado continued its rampage. Smithville, with a population of just over 800, was almost completely destroyed. 13 lives were lost, and over 90% of the town's buildings were either severely damaged or flattened. The intensity of the storms didn't let up by 4 p.m. The tornadoes were on the move again. Multiple twisters hit Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee. Communities were being flattened, and the National Weather Service began issuing even more urgent warnings. By 5 p.m., the tornado spread further east into Georgia and Tennessee. As the day wore on, the storm system left behind a trail of destruction that stretched for hundreds of miles. The damage was staggering, and the death toll was rising fast. At 6 p.m., the storms were still wreaking havoc. Though the number of tornadoes were starting to decline, despite this, areas still in the path were facing brunt force of the damage. Whole towns, including parts of Chattanooga, were torn apart by these fierce storms. By 7 p.m., the worst of the storms had passed, but the destruction was still widespread. Rescue efforts were underway, and volunteers were flooding into the hardest hit areas to help survivors. People across the region were still in shock, trying to grasp the full scope. By 8 p.m., the storms had finally started to weaken, but the impact would last much longer. Over 350 tornadoes had struck, leaving behind a trail of devastation that will take years to fully recover. The aftermath was nothing short of overwhelming. Over 350 people were killed, and thousands more were injured. Communities that once thrived are now unrecognizable. But the face of the unimaginable loss, the strength of the human spirit shone through. Volunteers, first responders, and entire communities came together to rebuild. From the rubble, communities rose. Their resilience proving that the greatest force is not nature itself, but the strength we find in each other. Neighbors helped neighbors, strangers became friends, and together They rebuilt not just homes, but lives. The storms may have passed, but their legacy remains, not as a reminder of destruction, but a testament to how in even the darkest moments, hope can rise. Thank you guys if you watched this video. This is my first video like this, and I greatly appreciate it. If you want more of these in the comments, let me know. And if you watch it all the way through, type Apple in the comment section. See you guys later.